Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so the 2026 World Cup is officially in the history books. The physical trophy has been lifted, the confetti has been swept away, but the digital footprint left behind, it reveals something absolutely fascinating. Looking back, the global internet, and honestly some of the smartest data analysts on the planet, were completely and utterly blindsided by what actually went down on the pitch. Today, we're going to break down exactly how this tournament shattered our digital predictions, totally defeated the data, and proved the internet completely wrong.
Okay, let's dive into this. 1 million. Just think about that number for a second. That is the staggering number of simulations run by massive investment giants like Goldman Sachs and UBS heading into the tournament. And they didn't just stop there. They paired those million simulations with over 200,000 probability trees. The whole goal was to use big data to mathematically crown the inevitable champions before a single ball was even kicked. But, as we're about to see, football is played on grass, not on a spreadsheet.
Part 1. Fall of the Giants, the favorites who failed.
Now, if you were scrolling through Reddit or, reading those fancy Wall Street reports before the tournament started, the consensus was totally locked in. The internet confidently predicted that Brazil and Germany were the inevitable champions. Honestly, a lot of fans on social media basically dismissed Brazil's path as a mere formality. But the reality we watched on our screens? Pure chaos. Both of these absolute giants of world football suffered shocking, unprecedented early exits, completely upending every expected tournament bracket out there.
And what's really interesting here is looking at the specific context behind these monumental failures. Take Germany, widely considered the Darth Vader of the tournament, right? Their data-driven invincibility just vanished in a humiliating 4-3 penalty shootout loss to Paraguay. That was their first ever World Cup penalty shootout defeat. Then you have Brazil. Managed by the legendary Carlo Ancelotti, they were completely stifled by Norway, losing 2-1. They replaced key control players with an immobile Neymar, only to get punished by an Erling Haaland brace. And finally, Portugal. They really became a casualty of their own legacy. Manager Roberto Martinez caught a ton of flack for pandering to a 41-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo, and it all culminated in a drab 1-0 exit against Spain from a devastating 91st-minute goal.
And it wasn't just entire squads that failed to compute. Individual superstars literally vanished under the immense pressure of the global spotlight. Christian Pulisic, frequently hyped as the LeBron James of soccer, exited the entire tournament without a single goal contribution. 0. Meanwhile, South Korea's Son Heung-min finished with an expected goals metric, an XG, of 1.05, which was actually the highest at the tournament, but he tragically left without ever finding the back of the net. The data practically guaranteed they'd score, but reality said otherwise.
Moving on to Part 2, Rise of the Underdogs, the 48-team format mocked and vindicated. Remember how much the expansion to 48 teams was universally panned online before the tournament? The internet predicted it would be an absolute disaster class, resulting in nothing but player fatigue and wildly uncompetitive mismatches. But look at what actually happened. The expanded format delivered the exact opposite. It gave us the definitive Summer of the Underdog, providing this incredible platform for smaller nations to seize the spotlight and absolutely thrill fans around the world.
Check this out. The Confederation of African Football, CAF, staged a near-total takeover of the group stages. An absolutely unprecedented 90% of their nations advanced. That means 9 out of their 10 teams made it out of the group stage. The predictive models just completely failed to account for this level of dominance from the African continent, defying all statistical probability and setting the stage for massive upsets. The narratives these underdogs crafted were simply incredible. As we touched on earlier, Norway hunted down the 5-time winners Brazil, sending them packing early. Then there's Egypt, carrying the hopes of millions, spectacularly leading the defending champions Argentina 2-0. It required a desperate, chaotic 13-minute comeback just to save the South American giants. And nations like DR Congo and Cabo Verde completely shocked professional analysts. DR Congo amazingly rose from certain elimination to the top of the third-place rankings in just a single half of football.
Part 3, Predictions that were way off, when pundits and Reddit fail. If you spent any time on platforms like Reddit, the digital consensus was, it was practically arrogant. For instance, user XRReaps confidently claimed that England would absolutely obliterate Norway. But what actually happened out there on the pitch? England didn't obliterate anyone. They barely survived. They had to blunt Norway's massive momentum just to secure a nail-biting 3-2 victory in a match that professional pundits described as a heartbreak waiting to happen for the English side. But it wasn't just enthusiastic fans on Reddit who got it wrong. Professional, institutional models completely misfired too. Nomura's highly touted predictive models explicitly forecasted a France-Spain final, which, as we now know, completely crumbled. On top of that, expected powerhouse nations like Uruguay and Turkey failed to even survive their group stage trials. Turkey's abysmal fourth-place finish was widely labeled a disgrace by disappointed fans whose expectations were artificially inflated by all this data.
Section 4. The Age of Controversy. Politics, Technology, and Unpredictability.
So, the internet's expectation was that we would see strict, standard enforcement of the FIFA disciplinary code. A red card is a red card, right? But the reality was an unprecedented level of political intervention. This became explicitly clear when U.S. player Folarin Balogun received a red card against Bosnia and Herzegovina. Rather than a standard suspension taking place, U.S. President Donald Trump personally called FIFA President Gianni Infantino 3 times to aggressively lobby for the ban to be lifted.
So the crucial point is how FIFA handled this. To navigate the immense pressure, FIFA invoked a highly specific mechanism known as Article 27. This really obscure clause was utilized to effectively suspend Balogun's ban, allowing him to legally take the pitch in their subsequent match against Belgium. They completely bypassed standard disciplinary protocol in a way that literally no algorithm on Earth could have predicted.
And the reaction from the footballing establishment? Explosive. UEFA furiously reacted to the Balogun ban reversal by releasing a statement calling the decision unprecedented, incomprehensible, and unjustifiable. It was a true black swan event for world football, injecting a level of chaotic political unpredictability that absolutely shattered tournament brackets.
And hey, it wasn't just politics. Technology itself fueled massive controversies. The tournament introduced the snickometer, which is this highly sensitive sensor embedded inside the match ball, designed to detect touches completely invisible to the human eye. In the Portugal versus Croatia match, this tech controversially ruled out a record 4 goals. Most dramatically, a last-second equalizer was chalked off just because of a microscopic touch detected by the sensor, leading fans everywhere to declare this the true age of conspiracy. Section 5. The final. Shattering the rematch illusion.
And this brilliantly illustrates just how stubborn online predictions can be. Even super late into the tournament, Reddit users like no_B3915 were absolutely convinced Destiny demanded an Argentina-France rematch from the previous World Cup. But Destiny, as it turns out, had other plans. While Argentina held up their end of the bargain, France definitely did not, resulting in a totally unexpected showdown between Argentina and Spain at MetLife Stadium.
Let's trace exactly how we got to that final stage. Chronologically, France's supposedly inevitable run was halted when they were completely outpassed and outclassed by a resurgent Spain in a 2-0 defeat, featuring brilliant goals by Oyarzabal and Perrault. Meanwhile, on the other side of the bracket, Argentina narrowly defeated England 2-1, riding on the backs of Fernandez and Martinez, and that set the stage for the ultimate clash: Argentina versus Spain, under the bright lights of East Rutherford, New Jersey.
Finally, Section 6. The Limits of Logic, Why the Internet is Always Wrong. The core lesson to take away from this entire explainer is that data analytics has strict, hard limits. You can run 1 million simulations, but an algorithm simply cannot account for the coincidence of life. It can't foresee an unprecedented political intervention by a world leader, or microscopic censor rulings, or a manager spontaneously changing a winning tactical setup. Football, at its heart, remains a perfect reflection of our chaotic, utterly unpredictable society.
The 2026 World Cup might be over, but the debates it sparked are going to continue for years to come. I want to hear from you as we finish up. What did the internet get wrong for you? Was the most shocking moment that unprecedented Balogun reversal? Or was it the spectacular early fall of those massive data-backed giants? Let me know your thoughts down below, and remember, always keep questioning the data. Thank you for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.